You've trained celebrities, and a lot of people will say, what's the difference training a celebrity over a normal person?
So you're with a celebrity, it's going to be short term, and you have to be goal specific of what you're going to do. So like, hypothetically, I'm going to be shirtless in 3 weeks. Like, oh, fuck, okay, this is what we have to do to make a glamour shot hit for 3 weeks. But if you're just like a regular person, it's not that much pressure. It's like, okay, what are we going to do over the month? What's our monthly goal? What's our month goal after that? It's a progression. Well, with celebrities, it's always, thrown right into the fire.
What's up, everybody? Kris Gethin here, live from Gold's Gym, Venice, with the one and only Mike Ryan. What's up, brother?
Pleasure.
Good to be back here with you, my man.
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute. Like, the first time that I came across you was not in Gold's Gym, though. It was when I was in cold and rainy Wales, looking at the magazines and seeing you all over the publications. Like, you were known to me as like, it's that EAS guy as well. And then there was like those iconic pictures of you, like on the Harley or Chopper or whatever it is.
Yeah, famous Cal Yee, famous photographer. He would, the one I was walking a tightrope between buildings. He was super creative, and which made the magazine so much fun. It wasn't your typical hold the dumbbell. Cal was crazy creative.
Yeah.
So he had some really cool iconic shots.
See, I think what was a little bit different with those shots over everything else was a little bit more like pretty boy stuff.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, I can't really relate to that. Yeah. But there was like a little bit of a hardcore and more relatable feel where, like, you're wearing the jeans and edgy. You got the bandana.
Totally.
There's an edge to it.
Yeah, a little cool. I used to be cool.
You're still cool, brother, and that's why we're here today. And one of the reasons why I wanted to interview here today, Mike, of course, you're like iconic in the industry. You've trained a lot of celebrities and all that sort of stuff. But what has attracted me to this, and I think my demographic here are going to relate to this as well, is the longevity. Like, you seem to be getting better as the years go by. Like, I knew you when I was training here, like in 2005. And of course, you were in great shape, always in shape. But now it's like you are growing and growing as you get older. And I see, obviously, follow you online. The weights that you're pushing here in the gym is absolutely ungodly.
Thank you.
But the funny thing is like, Sunshine's said last time when you were training me, is like, does he really train that seriously though? Because he's doing all this weight, but he's watching the football here on his iPad.
I know. I needed that. It keeps my mental clarity. Yeah.
But yeah, you've obviously, you're doing something really right. So you come from the Boston beginning.
Yep.
So I don't know if you had like a connection here with Tito and Jose because they're Boston boys as well.
Yeah.
But then what did
Jay Cutler?
Yeah, Jay as well.
Jay, I was the first guy I met when he came out here. When he came to Gold, Yeah, another Boston guy.
That would have been like late 90s or something.
Late 90s, yep. Yeah. Or mid 90s probably. Yeah, I can't even remember when. His first Olympia was what, 98? 98, okay.
I 97. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was after Dorian had left, so I think it was like 98. Anyways, so, what initially brought you over here from Boston now?
Probably like 99% of the guys here, growing up in the magazines, just like you saw, you saw the magazines, everyone trained at Gold's. It was iconic. It was the bodybuilding capital. It was the fitness capital. It was like a college to learn more about training, and of course, this is back in the 80s, going into the 90s, where fitness was popular, but it wasn't what it is today. There was no online. You had to learn information by actually seeing people do it, by having someone explain it to you, or by doing a whole lot of research, by getting magazines and books, you know what I mean? It wasn't readily available. So I had this thirst for knowledge about training. I always loved it. I played college football, and after my playing days, I was always a gym rat. So I said, I just want to come to Gold's Gym. And somehow I made it out here and started working here, and kind of, I guess it's the old adage, when you find your passion, you never work a day in your life. So it's kind of my tutelage, you find your passion, and every day it's just fun.
Got it. What made you transition from college football then? Because some people, a lot of the time, as weird as it may sound, a lot of people go, I got injured, and then I got into bodybuilding.
Well, it's funny. It's depressing, because most of the guys that I see that I play with, they all became just lazy, and it's like, I train, I'm done training. I'm like, that's the worst attitude ever. I said, you can embrace your elderliness, embrace your old age, and you got to work even harder. So I just want to be this prime example. Like, I played, I got beatings, got surgeries, but after, I still want to improve on my physique, improve on my wellness, improve on my life.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you came over here, you started training here at the Mecca. Were you doing personal training straight away? Because you transitioned to be a manager.
Yeah. Like everything. I started cleaning the weights, started cleaning the bathrooms, working the front desk. And I got to know the owners pretty well, so they kind of made me an opportunity. It's like, hey, we want to change the dynamics of the gym, because back then it was just a bodybuilding gym. The guys behind the desk, the managers, were just bodybuilders. You know what I mean? So the owners approached me and say, we want to make this a business. We want to have someone with a business mind and run it as a business. Would you be interested? I'm like, hell yeah, you know. So it was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, what a transition.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we know that you've trained a lot of celebrities in the industry, one of them being The Rock. I'm assuming that's when you met him first, when you were the manager.
Yeah. Because back then, all the wrestlers, and this is back, you know, into the 90s, they would all stay in Venice. They would love Gold's Gym, and they would stay in Venice for like up to 2 months, because they would train here, drive to San Diego, train here, drive to, next week would be Anaheim, train here, LA. Next week it'd be Stockton. Next week it'd be San Francisco. So while they were doing this whole West Coast wrestling shows, their headquarters was in Venice. So you see these guys every day for like 2 months, you know what I mean? So you get personal relationships with them. And then you're going out with them, boy, that's a whole nother story.
That's another part. Okay, that's not getting onto this recording.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've trained celebrities, and a lot of people will say, you know, what's the difference training a celebrity over a normal person? And now we know that you've spent time in India. I hung out with you in India for a little while as well. And we trained a couple of the same people.
Yep.
You got Mahesh Babu. You trained Priyanka Chopra as well.
Yep.
Is there a difference between, number one, training an average person to a celebrity? And number two, is there a difference between training a celebrity in India as opposed to one here in the US?
Well, the first thing, everything's all goal orientated, you know. So if I engage a client in anything, I need to know what your goals. Well, so you're with a celebrity, you know it's going to be a short term, and you have to be goal specific of what you're going to do. So like, hypothetically, I'm going to be shirtless in 3 weeks. It's like, oh, fuck, okay, this is what we have to do to make a glamour shot hit for 3 weeks. But if you're just like a regular person, it's not that much pressure. It's like, okay, what are we going to do over the month? What's our monthly goal? What's our month goal after that? You know, it's a progression. Well, with celebrities, it's always, you know, thrown right into the fire. And the good thing is, when you get guys that like working out, guys and girls that love working out, it makes for just a better experience.
Yeah,
so,
because I guess you've got to get some celebrities that are just doing it because it's a job and they have to get in shape.
Yeah.
And they got to fight it tooth and nail.
Yeah,
like
totally. And then after, they'll never work out again.
Yeah.
They're like, oh man, you got in great shape. Why would you do that? But, you know, everyone's different.
Yeah, I think people said that about Jared Butler.
Oh,
you know,
sure.
he got in shape for 300, but he hated
it. And smoked and drank for the rest of his life.
Yeah. Each to their own, I guess.
I know.
Yeah. And even though you haven't specifically branded yourself as like an anti-aging expert or anything like that.
No, not at all.
What rituals and mindset have helped you to stay young? And what is your age now? Just give me the...
I'm 59.
59, so you're 60 this year?
60 in March, so coming up.
Okay, all right, which is absolutely insane.
Oh, thanks.
So what would you say are, you know, the secrets, if there are any secrets to your longevity that you could pass on to someone else? Is it the mindset? Is it coming in here all the time? Is it the nutrition? Is it the hydration? Are there biohacks?
Okay, for me, it's a mindset. You know what I mean? It all starts with the mind. You have to have clarity of what you want to do, how you want to achieve it. And if you want to stay young, strong, virile, you know, a lot of vitality, it starts right here. So I wake up every day and I say, today I'm just going to do the best I can at whatever I do. And that's training. And that comes down to eating. You know, you have choices. Do I want to stop and have some shit food, or can I, you know, have a healthy meal? You know, everything comes down to a choice, but it starts from here. It's just, you have to have that mind frame. And also, you know, in being in this place, it's great because it's super competitive if you want it to be. You know, like you come in, you're jacked. If you look around, everyone's shirtless and they're jacked. You're like, motherfucker, I want to compete with these fucking guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck if I'm 59 or 69 or 79. I'm going to be in the same arena. I'm going to be able to compete with these guys and have these guys look out for that fucking guy. He's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's that whole mindset of competition, you know, not being able to quit, and dedication, and only you can change too. That's the other thing. It's like, if I don't do it, no one's going to do it for me.
Got it. And to a certain degree, people have to, and I use this term, people have to control their environment as well, not by controlled by it. Because, like, of course, not everybody can come here to train at Gold.
Yep.
So they've got to create this environment in here now to encourage themselves and obviously be competitive with themselves to be better.
For sure. 1,000%.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, people, like, People have obviously, sent me some questions on Instagram. And they know that you have, I guess, one day a week. You're going to have to give me, quote me on this. One day a week where you just eat whatever.
Oh
you
yeah,
want.
go nuts. Yeah, Sundays go nuts.
Okay, so what do you eat on those days?
Actually, this started years ago because I used to do a cheat meal, especially with the old EAS with Bill Phillips. But when I started training with Dwayne and started working out with Dwayne, he wasn't too familiar. He was always like, all right, I got to start eating clean. And he started getting angry. I said, Dwayne, let's have a cheat day or free day. He's like, what's that? He goes, I'm like, on Sunday, we'll eat whatever you want. He was like, come on, you're kidding me. I said, yeah. I said, the end result, it's going to spike everything. The next day, you're going to be strong. You're going to be ripped. You're not going to believe what happens, but let's just go nuts. So Dwayne, as you guys know, he's 280, 290. So we'd go to the firehouse and order like 2 sets of pancakes. So you're having pancakes the size of hubcaps, you know what I mean? So you're having like 6 pancakes right away, burgers. And I'm like, all right, I'm done. 2 hours later, he's like, come on, we're going out. We go out. He has a sweet tooth. We go out, we get donuts, we get ice cream. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Then a little after that, he's like, all right, because like he didn't know anyone back then. So he'd be like, come on, we're going to go get a pizza. So we'd have pizza, sodas, and more junk food and shit. Then at night, he's like, we got to stop for In-N-Out. I mean, the cheat meals were fucking epic. It had to be about 6,000 to 7,000 fucking calories in one day. It was just so overwhelming that I enjoyed the experience and he loved it, you know what I mean? So we did that for years. And then when he moved away, I started tailing it back, but I still really go nuts on my cheat day, because I train so fucking hard here on Sundays that I'm ravenous and I'll just.
So it's leg day Sunday or something?
Yeah. It's the only day that I don't work. So I'm I get to get off my feet. So I feel like if I'm going to be off my feet, I might as well exert myself best. And I'll really try and get heavy squats. I used to do heavy squats and deadlifts on Sundays, but it became too much. So just heavy squats, heavy presses, heavy lunges, as much as I can, yeah. So my meals were just breakfast, I'm ordering like 2 or 3 of everything. I'm a donut freak, so I get a dozen donuts, you know what I mean? And I kill like almost half the box in one day, you know what I mean? And then I'll get a pizza in the afternoon, pasta before I go to bed. Yeah, it's obnoxious and gross, but I enjoy it.
Interesting. So you still have the day or you have a meal today?
No, I still have a day.
You still have a day,
Yeah,
okay.
Christ, I know, yeah.
And then the rest of the time, what are the boring days there?
Oh God, well I have this awful concoction that I created since the EAS days. I get pressed green juice, then I'll have ground turkey, and I mix it with like a half a cup of oatmeal and peanut butter, and I shovel it all in. It's like dog food. It's pure shit, but it works for me.
And then are you still on the typical like 5-6 meals a day?
Yeah.
You are?
Well, since I'm here a lot, like a lot of my meals would just be shakes and bars, but I still try and get 3 substantial food meals.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah, and going back to the EAS days, like I obviously, like back in 2000, 2001, I was a body for life coach.
Yeah.
That's when I was living in Australia for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was more than familiar of the Muscle Media magazine and what Bill, and then...
Just so your fans know, I knew him when he didn't have a mohawk. He looked like a basic nerd, and he was just in the gym. And then all of a sudden, like 2 years later, mohawk tatted. I was like, what happened?
I left Flex magazine. That's what happened.
Right.
I was like, man, I have to be respectable. I have to be a reporter. No one's going to take me seriously.
I know, yeah.
I was like, now I can go and get this shit done. And then when I gave up competing, because I stopped competing in 99, I was like, finally, I can get all the fucking tattoos. Oh, no, 2009. So
Okay,
2009.
yeah.
All the tattoos I've always wanted. So thankfully, I can flourish now. And
so I knew him when he was naked and clean.
A little boy. Shucks. So going back to the EAS. So what happened there? Did someone come and did Bill find you or?
Yeah. Well, actually, running goals. Those guys would come in often. Bill was just leaving because him and Sean were aspiring bodybuilders. And I would see him. Then when I took over, I hear, he started Metrics, and Metrics started blowing up. I'm like, wow, good for him, Then the whole EAS, he bought EAS.
Him and Scott, ways.
Yeah. It's funny. That's a whole other crazy story. But then he bought EAS from Anthony Almada.
Yeah, that's right.
Who basically found the benefits of creatine. And he told Bill about it. And Bill, sure, researched and marketed the hell of creatine. And creatine's still one of the biggest supplements in the world today.
Phosphagen, wasn't it, back
then?
Phosphagen.
Very good one, yeah.
That's it. And
so those guys would come in, then I got to know them all the time. And being a Gold's Gym, it's just, if you guys never been here, it's such a cool place. It's dynamic, it's overwhelming, but it's also celebrity haven. So when they come in, I'm like, hey, that's Kobe Bryant you're training next to. Hey, over there, that's Magic Johnson over there. Then there was all the football players would come in. Then it'd be like, oh, Rock's going to be here training today. Then you get all the actors, and it was just wild. So Bill saw me as like, wow, I can use Mike to network to really make my company grow.
Okay.
So and he's like, hey, would you be interested in working? But prior to that, he's like, you're always in shape. I want you to be one of my brand ambassadors for the magazine. Then after that, what happened was the Broncos made the Super Bowl. And just how life is, you know what I mean, unfolds and funny things happen. We go down there and it's just like, hey, Marcus Sounds calls, you guys down, you want to come to a party? Bill's like, you know Marcus Allen? He's like, yeah, a good friend of mine. And we just ran into everyone. We ran into every celebrity. And when we go to the game, Kobe Bryant was sitting next to us. And I'm like, Kobe, it's my friend Bill and Sean. And he's like, oh, nice to meet you. And they're like, it's fucking Kobe Bryant. I'm like, yeah, cool, So after Bill's like, we got to capitalize what you have. And I ran this whole VIP marketing division for EAS. So I would go to sets. I go to off-season training camps, and I would have like a team of trainers. If you had a movie, one of the big ones was Edward Norton Fight Club. He wanted to put on the muscle for American History X, and he wanted to peel it off. So we're with him, doing everything, having people watch him, follow him, his nutrition. And then, it took off, and we were just on it, like so many movie sets and so many sporting events and sporting arenas. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
I was bummed he sold, because it could have been something that's so huge that it would still be functioning today.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It was at the top of its tree because so many people can relate to that.
Yep.
Because it wasn't just bodybuilders. Bodybuilders were a very small part of it. But
definitely.
with people, it's like, wow, this is somebody that I can relate to. I've got 3 kids. I hold down 2 jobs. But this person's done it. Okay, they've opened the gateway for me to go do it too.
Yeah. And it was brilliant. He marketed to mom and pops, and he had a great support. A 24/7 support system. People working the lines all day long. Hey, I feel tired today. I feel a little bloated. Someone's going to answer your questions, which is invaluable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That having a team behind you every day. Wow, that was the novelty of it. That was the magic of it.
And that's how bodybuilding.com started as well. Because Ryan DeLuca, he started selling phosphagen. That was the first supplement that he started selling because it was so popular from his home, basically.
Yeah.
That's kind of launched him.
Oh, wow.
And then it was bars after that. And then it just followed, yeah. And I think he's quite a good friend of him now because Ryan then carried on that kind of, okay, we need transformations for people who want to get ready for a performance event, for fat loss, for muscle building specifically. We're targeting the normal consumer.
Yeah. Which is brilliant.
Of course.
Because so many people after high school don't do anything competitive in their life.
Yeah. And usually they'll kind of fall off.
Yeah.
And then when they go through a divorce or something in their mid-40s, they come back.
So the revenge body.
Yeah, that's it. The revenge body. I like it. So I've got a few questions here in regards to, of course, you're eating your 6 meals. Are you one of those people that really focuses on like recovery, i.e. stress management, sleep, obviously sunlight?
I try. You know what I mean? Sleep sometimes eludes me. My problem is sometimes I'm so tired, I'll go home and I'll crash for like 45 minutes. And I feel good, but if I crash for over an hour, like in the middle of the night, I'm fucked. You know what I mean? I'm like, I fucked up my sleep pattern.
Back up.
Yeah. But I try to do that. I know Andrew Huberman, I see him every day. He's like, you get out there and look at the sun. All right, I'm sorry, Andrew. You know what I mean? So I try and do that to reset my circadian rhythm. But I'm all about recovery. And like after Sunday, I'm definitely off my feet. I ice my knees. I live in ice packs, so I'm all about, recovery and preventative medicine too.
What about hydration?
Oh, Christ, I get 3 waters of Gatorade in a bottle here, yeah.
No meathead gallon jug? Something kind of...
Basically, I'm still half a meathead.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, all right. Hydration's huge, yeah.
Yeah, massive. Like there's one thing that I've noticed from people, like clients or myself, is that when the performance is down, they could have had a shitty night's sleep before, but it doesn't usually affect them. Maybe the food was a little bit off, doesn't usually affect them. If their hydration is down, now I see those effects.
Absolutely. It's huge. Actually, I learned that from Bill Phillips when he was at the Denver Bronco camp. And he's talking about, because during football camp, you're doing 3 days and it's over 100-degree weather. He's like, you guys don't understand the importance of hydration. And there was an actual formula about how much it could have been up to like 30% strength you can lose when you're dehydrated. It was a crazy percentage, which I didn't know. And I learned this back in the 90s. Like, fuck, hydration is huge component.
Yeah, and not just physically, but mentally as well.
Absolutely.
And now if you're dehydrated, you don't even have the enthusiasm of workout.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
And it makes us look younger.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're exposed to a lot of these environmental toxins or that are dehydrating you as well, of course, you get a lot of this free radical damage that does age you
for sure.
quickly.
Yep.
And you see that from people, that are dealing with stress. And that is something that I never, of course, what people see online can be different to what, people really experience.
Of course, absolutely.
But you never seem to be stressed, man. You always seem to be really chilled, really happy, really enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Is there a secret to that, or you've always been like that? Do you work at it?
Don't get married. Don't have kids. No, I'm kidding. No, I definitely work at it. You know what I mean? And I realize, Gold's maybe their brand ambassador years ago. When people come in here, they expect to see someone, exemplify of the brand. So I realized, like, if I'm being shitty, if I'm cranky, it's somewhere it's going to affect someone like, I went to Gold's. That guy Mike was a dick. And man, that would bother me. Because like you know how you travel and you meet people. You always want to have a great positive experience. So when people come here and travel, I want them to have a great positive experience.
Well, that's good, man.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
That's good because that reflects on other people, of course.
Sure,
yeah.
totally.
It's all about vibes and vibration and frequency. It isn't all about communication.
Yep.
It's what you're putting out into the universe that you'll generally receive back.
And actually, that's one of the things why Dwayne is just so mega popular. Because what you see is what you get. You know what I mean? He's a hardworking guy, but he's so fucking nice and cool. Like when we do movies, you're working 14, 16 hours a day, and there was a line of people that's been there for like 6 hours. He would stay and sign and take pictures with everyone till no one is there. So the guy would be putting in 20 hours a day. I would be like, of course, I'm like, no one gives a shit. Go the fuck home.
Yeah.
You don't understand, like the importance of meeting someone and the impact you have on them.
Totally get it. Like I've seen him here several times, but of course I never bothered him during a workout.
Yeah.
But when I've observed other people stop him in the middle of a workout, he would stop and take pictures and chat.
Yeah.
He was always seemed to be.
He's that guy.
We were just in Venice last week, the other Venice in Italy.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. You just missed him, right?
Yeah.
Bummer.
We were in. Obviously, we were at the Venice Film Festival.
Yeah.
His movie was showed the next day, and the gym that we trained in, he was in the next day.
There's only one gym there, too.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's nothing there.
Yeah.
It had the Panada, so I was like, we've got to go there. Yeah, but like seeing, obviously, he got a standing ovation and he become very, very emotional.
Oh,
it
totally.
seems like, he really submerges himself into everything that he does.
A role like that, because Mark Kerr used to train here.
Yeah.
So you get to know these guys, and you see them, you're like, Mark Kerr is a demon, he's a beast, and all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck is going on? Then you hear the backstory. It's like, it happens to so many people. So for Dwayne, and he have an emotional background, with wrestling and basically, the old $6, that's all he had to his name, you know what I mean? So he can kind of relate to that. So I'm not sure that's why he immersed himself in that role so much and so deeply.
Yeah. It looks like a great movie.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
sure.
It looks badass. So I got a couple of rapid fire questions here. Post-workout meal of choice.
All right. Well, it's twofold. If I don't have time, they have a great shake. You've seen the truck out front?
Oh, yeah.
They make the best bowls. They make the best protein shakes, best ICEA bowls, you know what I mean? So that's, if I don't have time, they'll whip one up for me, double protein with a shitload of fruit and peanut butter. Fantastic. But when I go home in the daytime, I love eggs. I'm an egg guy. So I'll have usually about 6 whole eggs. I don't go egg whites. 6 whole eggs, a bowl of oatmeal with peanut butter, and then I like to make a smoothie with some fruit, bananas, blueberries.
Interesting. Okay, so I want to get your expertise on this because we all hear that you shouldn't have fats post-workout because you want to have that insulin spike and you want to shuttle those carbs into the system as soon as possible. But if you're having 6 egg yolks, so what's your...
I think for me, it's just, I go by what works for me because I've tried, I've actually, had, just a protein shake with like 4 peptides, get that insulin spike. And I'm like, this is cool, but I feel like I'm just fucking around by having all this sugar. So I'd rather get my sugars and everything else just from carbs or from yolks and from fruits. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And then, so we're gonna have to have one of those shakes. No pressure. They better be freaking good.
It is good. You'll love it.
Yeah. Is there a Mike Ryan shake there?
No, but you should make one.
Okay. We're gonna work.
But that has vodka in it.
Man, I'll definitely get one of those back, for sure. Maybe there's a beverage company out there that wants to partner with Mike.
Yeah.
Okay. So gym equipment you cannot live without.
Oh, for me, just dumbbells.
Dumbbells?
Yeah, yeah. When we had COVID just sucked. This place was shut down for like 2 years. Fucking joke. And I immediately just had to find dumbbells. A barbell with weights, but dumbbells. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Some of those trainers, including Tito, never came back.
I know. Yeah. They built their whole gyms and
Okay. Most underrated and most overrated exercise.
Oh boy, this is funny. You don't want to piss everyone off, but
No, piss them off. You squat, you got great legs.
Yeah.
For me, that's overrated. It doesn't work
yeah,
for me.
I think that is the most underrated squats, because so many people avoid them and they have excuses, knees, back, I'm afraid, blah, blah, blah. I think squats are essential. I think they just make you stronger. I'll put squats and deadlift in the same category, because a lot of people rather make excuses than doing them.
But they're freaking hard.
Yeah, they're fucking hard. That's the truth. That's the bottom line too. They're hard, but so many people make excuses how to avoid them. So that's the most underrated. Overrated? Jesus Christ.
Is there one?
I think all these girls doing all these hip thrusts.
It is, baby. The hip thrusts are overrated.
Thrusts, like everyone's just like, I need to do my hip thrust. I mean,
For women.
And guys, you know what I mean? It's like, there's a line to do it all the time. I'm like, a little overrated. There's so many other things you could be doing.
Yeah. And it can be awkward when they make eye contact.
Totally. Especially when it's a guy. Hey, how's it going?
But I'd say the same thing. And I got to get hate for this for sure, but look, there's a lot of people out there now with the freakiest asses I've ever seen. So maybe I'm missing something, but I'll always say, look, you want to get it. You stick to the basics. It's the lunges, it's the split squats, it's the squats, the leg press, those compound heavy movements, just make them deeper. But, it seems to be a trend. Sunshine loves them.
Oh, we don't get the surgeries.
All right. Okay. So I put out a post onto my stories yesterday because I'd like to include my community. Thank you very much for sending all your questions. I deleted half of them, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not on OnlyFans. What's wrong with you people?
Yeah, so that was a question that came up several times. What is Mike's OnlyFans? Has he got an OnlyFans?
No OnlyFans. I'm not gay, and I'm single. That's it. That's probably, I get it all day long too.
All right. So someone said, will he be honest about what he does and takes? I'm assuming they're talking steroids.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I talk about it all the time. Body by Mark stopped me one of these days, about maybe 6 months ago. You ever see? Yeah. And I was just like, I take TRT, 1 cc a week. I split it up. I go half on Monday, half on Thursday, and I take some peptides just basically for connective tissue repair, joint repair, and overall wellness. Yeah.
Okay, so like a BPC, TB500, things like that.
Yep.
So I got a question, because a lot of people will say, well, the oral form will actually get broken down by the gut. I always think it's bullshit, because you always think about it like when it comes to a medication, vitamin D seems to work. Take Viagra, seems to work. But as soon as you take a supplement, as soon as you take a peptide, it gets destroyed by the gut.
That's so funny, true,
But do you take the injectable form like in a localized area, like for your knees?
Yeah, no, I just all...
Sub-Q? Okay, got it. So if I take like a BPC or anything like that, I always go localized.
Really?
I find it is more efficacious.
Okay.
Just that's me. I have to try it. But like for knees, you have to like pinch
you're really gonna find
and just do it.
You got no skin, you get too much muscle.
Yeah, that's it. I got muscular knees, man. Okay, how big are his arms?
I don't know. If we start measuring, I'll be too frustrated because I'll measure everything.
Exactly. Like I measured one body part once and I got really let down. So I thought I'll never do it again.
I watch too much porn. I'm like, oh God, I'm not even close.
What's dating like as an older but really fit guy? Do you get chicks half your age?
Yes. Sorry. Yeah, it's, I don't want to be a dick, but yeah. I just like being around younger people. You know what I mean? I feel younger. I like their vibe. I like their energy. I like what they bring to the table. And I'm not ready, because most people when you date someone your age, it's like, well, here's my kids, here's my grandkids, this, that. I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not ready for that. You know what I mean? So I just rather, catch up on the latest pop music, catch up on the latest culture. I learn about La Boo-Boos from girls.
I do.
Yeah, I know. What are they, 20, 30? Well, you stopping? How old are these girls?
Hey, you got Mike in an uncomfortable spot now. It's like, what have I got myself into? That's funny. Do you know what the funny thing is? I found out about him yesterday as well, didn't I?
Sure.
Yeah. My buddy, Dr. Dom, he's coming here now. He came with his kids, and I got to learn because they got fake ones down at the beach.
Funny.
Yeah. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Trending, man.
Trending, crazy.
So lots of questions here that are repeating themselves. Is he single?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And biggest lesson he's learned from all these years of training?
That's a great question. Man, the biggest lesson is just, number one, especially when you're a guy, just leave your ego at home. You know what I mean? You come in this place, you want to lift so hard, so heavy, so competitive. But if you don't know, you're on the right mind frame, you know what I mean? There's so many so many things that can happen that can fuck you up. You know what I mean? If you don't train properly. And like I said, like, you know, you come in here and you see a guy bench 500, like, I want to try that. You know, just fucking leave your ego at the door because you can fucking hurt yourself, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that, you know, social platforms have a lot to blame for a lot of this? Because people will see like a Bradley Martin doing some stupid exercise or seeing you pushing some stupid amount of weight and go, I want that result right now, or I want to do that now, and just screw themselves over.
Again, with all the information, there's so much more misinformation, which is tragic. You know what I mean? You got to know your levels, got to know where you are, and don't compare yourself to anyone. Be your own individual and find your happy base and go from there. Yeah, I see it all day long, especially with so many authority on nutrition and supplementation. People are just so fucking wacky. You know, I mean, they come up with random shit. I was just, where the fuck does that come from? You know, it's just insane.
Yeah.
The internet should be filtered.
Yeah,
they should have some authority be like, no, that's fucking bullshit. Don't ever talk about that.
You should have this job, bro.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
This would be awesome. Shut him down.
Yeah, but how many times you see, especially talking about, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do this. You're like, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? You know,
they've overthought it. They tried to make it too complicated.
And when people, they want to bring controversy to up their platform, which is even beyond stupid.
Yeah, we've seen that polarizing figures really do get a lot of attention.
Of course,
whether it's the best or the worst,
Yep.
it doesn't matter to them as long as they get it.
As long as they get
any
it.
way, shape, or form.
Yep.
But yeah, you see a lot of these people performing these unilateral exercises, and it's very strict.
Yeah.
And there's no kind of momentum to it to push a decent amount of weight.
Right.
And it's saying this is the right way. Forget what all the top bodybuilders did, all the top athletes. This is the new age, and people follow it. You know, because they're trying to be a personal trainer, even though they've got no qualifications or anything like that. They're just social influencers at the end of the day. But
it's so true.
Yeah, so that's why people kind of fuck themselves up and they go, Mike, can you help me?
Yeah, I know. Nope, don't have time. Beat it.
All right, and one last question here from the public. So we know that NAD is like this molecule that we lose as we get a little bit older. People want to know, are you supplementing with NAD, or do you take any NAD IVs?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I know, right? Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking about that earlier before we came online about stem cells and all this other, shit.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to introduce you into a little bit of that.
Yeah.
NAD.
People are raving about it.
Yeah. I take it. Like I test my biological age every year.
Okay.
So I don't give a fuck what my chronological age is.
Sure.
I give a fuck what my cells, my mitochondria, what age that is. So if I'm able to reverse that every single year, great. I'm on the right track. And NAD has been a big part of that.
He's 92. So,
92, I'm hanging in there, man. Staying out of the sun. Whatever Huberman says, I'm underneath that awning there. But Mike, thank you ever so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. If people were to ask you questions, they want to get trained by you, they're in Golds, they want to get in some sessions, how should they contact you?
Probably best is my Instagram. So it's Mike_Ryan_celebrity trainer.
Yeah, and if you want to see any of his reviews of movies, the Muscle Critic movie, or any of his cheat meals, you've got to tune in there.
Yeah, you'll get a kick out of it. Try to be entertaining.
Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you.
As always, brother. Thank you.
Rock on. Cheers, you guys. Thank you.